So what's next for Fallout 4, and really what's next for Fallout 4 modding? I feel like Fallout 4 modding and just really the cycle it's went through was a little bit different than some of the other games in the past, like Skyrim or even Fallout New Vegas. Obviously Skyrim is much more mature than Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4, but Fallout New Vegas in itself is still a lot older and has seen more of the cycle of modding than Fallout 4. Regardless, there's still a lot of ground for Fallout 4 to make up. I think kind of the console release put a weird divide and strike in the community, actually holding things back a little bit. Rather than mods just being developed, people had to worry about porting mods over, some of the controversies going on with console modding and all that, and I again think that really brought things back a little bit. Overall, I think it was a massive step forward for modding as a whole, but for the individualized modding of Fallout 4, it definitely did seem like it slowed things down a little bit around the time of that release. With that being said, there still is a few things missing from Fallout 4. One of the most obvious in my eyes is that Bethesda did confirm that the mod limit or mod file size limit on Xbox One was going to be increased, and then Skyrim Special Edition was released for Xbox One with mods with a 5GB limit, yet Xbox One mods are still sitting at a 2GB limit for Fallout 4. What's that all about? They did again confirm that this would be increased, but now it seems like they've totally forgotten about it or simply ignored those asking. I think this is something that should be addressed sooner rather than later. Like, what are they waiting for? There's no more updates coming to Fallout 4, no more DLC. It seems like a lot of people have large in part from Bethesda moved on to the game. We're not getting any official updates now, we're really just depending on modding. Regardless, even in the modding community, there's some mods that you kind of think would be there that aren't, especially mods that are available for some of the other games that really just don't exist yet. One glaring one is a texture pack. I mean, yeah, Fallout 4 looks pretty good, but the textures still aren't the greatest on a lot of things. If you play a heavily modded game, you almost get away with not having higher quality textures on some of the vanilla items because you'll probably tend to use some of the more modded items, clothing items, armor, etc., so you don't really notice it because again, modded items typically have higher quality textures. With that being said, one of the most downloaded mods for Fallout New Vegas and even for Skyrim is one of those massive overhauls or texture packs. NMC's texture pack for New Vegas is something I remember downloading pretty early on in my playthrough or modded playthrough of the game, and Skyrim has a number of different options. Granted, it is a bigger modding community, so you'd expect that, but again, it's one of those kind of must download things that's available both for consoles and for PC on Skyrim. Yet Fallout 4 has been out for quite a while now, and I feel like texture packs or texture mods in general just really aren't apparent. I can name a few that do change some certain things, but none of the really overarching ones that change a lot. I know there's like vivid landscapes, but even that feels like it's been abandoned very quickly. And then to build off that, armor or even clothing packs I feel like have been really scarce as far as Fallout 4 goes. For Skyrim, you did have the two massive mods being immersive weapons and immersive armors, and for Fallout 4, we do have Weaponsmith that adds in a ton of new weapons into the game, and a lot of people really do like using that mod. I actually tend to steer away from it, but there's a few other weapon packs that are relatively small but still viable. But as far as armor packs go, I feel like there really just isn't as much attention there. Obviously, Armorsmith does exist, which is very similar to Weaponsmith, adding in a bunch of armors that are kind of all made by different community members, while one person got permission to include them all in his mod. But again, I really don't feel like people do use those mods, especially not on consoles, because I don't think Armorsmith is even available on consoles. I really just find it to be an interesting dynamic and something that is large in part lacking from Fallout 4. I don't think those are regarded as necessarily extremely high quality mods, not that they're bad either. I just think a lot of people do tend to just use the individualized pieces rather than installing one of those big packs because again, they don't really like the big pack. But even beyond all that, what's next for Fallout 4 modding? It really just doesn't feel like there are many projects that are super ambitious or long-term goals or big mods really coming for this game as compared to some of the other games. Even Fallout New Vegas I feel like has way more of these projects going on than Fallout 4, which is kind of weird to think about. Obviously Skyrim blows it out of the water, but Skyrim has always had a ton of really large projects. I can think of a few new and very ambitious mods, but I feel like all of them have kind of gone dead over the past few months at least. I remember talking about them over the summer, but then now come November, December, October, I haven't heard anything about them, and I'm gonna go out on a whim and assume a lot of them have just lost interest and moved on to other games or really just haven't really wanted to put in all the work that would be necessary for that. Even on the smaller scale, just individualized mods that really try to push the game's limits. Fallout 4 Script Extender isn't really in its most complete form, and I feel like a lot of people are waiting for that for some different projects, although it still is available and it still does expand the functionality of the game and allow you to do new and cool things with modding, but I feel like not many mods even require it. In the past like 3 months, and I make a lot of videos and cover a lot of mods, I can think of one instance where I had to make sure I had Fallout 4 Script Extender updated. That was for the Place Anywhere mod, and it was only to use another mod that recommended using the Place Anywhere mod. Beyond that, it doesn't really seem like anyone is taking advantage of some of these different tools, and really just Fallout 4 modding in general has stayed to some of these smaller scale weapons, armors, new settlement objects, new power armors. And although I really enjoy covering all of these, and I actually find it to be quite a bit of fun, it feels like some of the larger scale mods are a little bit lacking. Mods that really change the way way the game's played and make it feel like you are playing something a bit different, not just that looks different. These are just some of the observations I have made. I still think Fallout 4 modding is a great thing, and I still think it is going places and extremely fun to use and really just making the game better and better as each new mod does come out. If you guys did watch through this point in the video, let me know by commenting battery down below. As always, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed again, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.